Have you ever noticed something strange? The people who quietly build the most wealth usually aren't the ones driving attention online. They're not posting about luxury lifestyles. They're not chasing viral trends. And they definitely aren't trying to become the next tech billionaire. Instead, many of them own businesses so ordinary that most people walk right past them without ever realizing how profitable they are. Think about it. Every week, someone pays to clean a pool, repair a fence, wash a car, or remove unwanted junk. These aren't glamorous businesses, but they solve real problems. And solving real problems is where real money is made. Today I'm going to show you 10 beginner-friendly businesses that have something in common. They don't depend on hype. They don't require millions of dollars to start. And many of them can begin as a weekend side business while you keep your full-time job. But before we begin, let me ask you one question. If you had the chance to own a business that quietly earned you consistent income every month, would you care if nobody thought it sounded impressive? Because that's exactly the mindset that separates wealthy business owners from people who spend years waiting for the perfect opportunity. Let's start with number 10. Business number 10, mobile car detailing. People are busier than ever. Most professionals don't want to spend their Saturday waiting at a car wash. They'd rather pay someone to come directly to their home or office. That's exactly why mobile detailing has exploded. You don't need an expensive storefront. You don't need dozens of employees. You simply need quality equipment, attention to detail, and reliability. The smartest operators don't chase hundreds of one-time customers. Instead, they build monthly contracts with real estate agents, corporate fleets, and local dealerships. One commercial client can be worth far more than dozens of individual customers. Now let's move to number 9, junk removal. Almost every family eventually faces the same problem: moving houses, renovating, cleaning out a garage, or dealing with an inherited property. Nobody enjoys hauling heavy furniture, old appliances, or construction waste. That's why they happily pay someone else to do it. The best part? You aren't selling a product, you're selling convenience. And convenience has become one of the most valuable businesses in today's economy. Many successful junk removal companies started with nothing more than a used pickup truck, basic equipment, and excellent customer service. Business number 8, handyman services. Every home slowly falls apart. A leaking faucet, a broken fence, a damaged door, a ceiling fan that suddenly stops working. Most homeowners don't know how to fix these problems, and even if they do, many simply don't have the time. That's where opportunity appears. A trustworthy handyman often becomes the first person families call whenever something breaks. And once people trust your work, they rarely look for someone else, which means one satisfied customer can generate years of repeat business. Now here's business number 7, pool maintenance. At first, cleaning swimming pools doesn't sound exciting. In fact, most people never even consider it. And that's exactly why competition stays surprisingly low. A swimming pool isn't something owners can ignore. If it's neglected for just a short time, the water turns green, chemicals become unbalanced, and repairs become expensive. That's why homeowners continue paying month after month, whether the economy is booming or slowing down. A well-organized technician can service dozens of pools every week, following the same route, serving the same customers, collecting recurring monthly income. Notice something interesting? None of the businesses we've covered depend on being trendy. They don't rely on going viral. They don't require millions of followers. They simply solve problems that people already have. And businesses built around everyday problems often become businesses that survive for decades. But we're only getting started, because the next businesses on this list become even more profitable as they grow. Let's continue. By now, you may have noticed a pattern. The businesses making consistent money usually aren't the ones getting the most attention. They're the ones solving everyday problems, again and again. Let's continue. Business number 6, property management. Imagine owning rental properties without answering midnight phone calls, without collecting rent, and without dealing with broken pipes. That's exactly why property owners hire property managers. Your job isn't fixing every problem yourself. Your job is organizing repairs, managing tenants, collecting rent, and making sure everything runs smoothly. The best part? You earn recurring monthly income. Every property you manage becomes another predictable paycheck. As your reputation grows, one landlord often introduces you to another. Over time, a small portfolio of properties can become a highly stable business. Now, business number 5, security camera installation. 20 years ago, security cameras were considered a luxury. Today, they're almost a necessity. Families want to protect their homes. Business owners want to protect their employees. Retail stores want to reduce theft. Warehouses want better monitoring. Demand keeps growing every year. But here's what many beginners don't realize. Installing the camera isn't where the real opportunity ends. Customers also need upgrades, maintenance, repairs, and additional cameras in the future. One satisfied customer often turns into years of repeat business. Business number 4, consulting. Many people think they have nothing valuable to sell, but that's rarely true. If you've spent years working in sales, marketing, construction, healthcare, finance, or almost any profession, you already possess experience that someone else is willing to pay for. Businesses make expensive mistakes every day. A good consultant helps them avoid those mistakes, and companies gladly pay for expertise that saves them time, money, and stress. The interesting part is, consulting doesn't require inventory. You aren't selling products, you're selling knowledge. And knowledge becomes more valuable as your experience grows. Now let's move to business number 3, software and digital services. You don't necessarily have to become a programmer. Many successful entrepreneurs build software agencies by connecting talented freelancers with business owners. Every local business today wants something digital: a modern website, online booking, customer management, automation, mobile apps. The demand keeps expanding because technology isn't replacing small businesses. It's helping them become more efficient. The smartest entrepreneurs don't try to do every technical task themselves. Instead, they build systems, create reliable teams, and focus on solving customer problems. Notice something important. Every business we've covered so far follows the same principle. They create value first. Profit comes second. That's the opposite of how most beginners think. Most people ask, how can I make money? Successful entrepreneurs ask, how can I solve a problem so well that people happily pay me? That single mindset shift can completely change your future, because wealth rarely comes from chasing trends. It comes from consistently providing value. And we're not finished yet. The final 2 businesses on this list might surprise you even more. One of them has created quiet millionaires without ever becoming famous. Let's finish the list.
Now we've reached the final 2 businesses, and honestly, these may be the most powerful of them all. Business number 2, children's education and skill programs. Parents will often delay buying a new car or postpone a vacation, but when it comes to their children's future, they're willing to invest. Whether it's tutoring, coding classes, language coaching, music, or after-school programs, education has always been one of the strongest long-term industries. Why? Because parents aren't buying a class, they're buying hope. Hope that their child will have a better future, and businesses built around hope often build loyal customers for years. Now, business number 1, home services. Not one specific service, but an entire category. Fence repair, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, lawn care, window cleaning, roof maintenance. These businesses may never trend on social media, but every neighborhood needs them. Every month, someone's fence breaks, someone's gutters overflow, Someone's driveway gets dirty. These problems never disappear, and that's exactly what makes these businesses so valuable. The greatest businesses aren't always the most exciting. They're the ones solving problems that never stop happening. Now, before you rush to start one of these businesses, there's something even more important you need to understand. Because I've seen beginners make the same 3 mistakes over and over again. The first mistake, choosing a business because it sounds impressive. Too many people dream about building the next billion-dollar startup while completely ignoring businesses that quietly generate steady income every month. Remember, your bank account doesn't care whether your business sounds exciting, it only cares whether customers keep paying you. The second mistake, spending too much money before finding customers. Many new entrepreneurs buy expensive equipment, rent offices, design fancy logos, and build websites before they've earned their first dollar. Successful business owners usually do the opposite. They find customers first, then they expand. Revenue should fund growth, not debt. And finally, the third mistake, the one that quietly destroys more businesses than almost anything else: inconsistency. Most people quit far too early, not because the business failed, but because they expected success too quickly. Let me tell you a simple story. Imagine 2 friends, Daniel and Alex. Both earn similar salaries. Both want more freedom. Daniel spends years researching. He watches business videos, buys online courses, waits for the perfect opportunity. Every month, he tells himself, "I'll start next month." 5 years later, he's still waiting. Alex makes a different decision. He chooses one simple service business. He works evenings, he works weekends, he gets rejected, he makes mistakes, but he keeps showing up. His first customer becomes 5, 5 become 20, 20 become 50. Eventually, he hires help, builds systems, steps away from doing every job himself. And one day, he realizes something. He no longer depends on a paycheck. Not because he found a secret, not because he got lucky, but because he solved the same ordinary problem hundreds of times, better than everyone else. That's the difference. Financial freedom rarely comes from doing extraordinary things. It usually comes from doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. So before you ask, which business makes the most money? Ask yourself a better question. Which problem am I willing to solve consistently for the next 5 years? Because that's the question that changes everything. If this video gave you a new perspective, let me know in the comments which business surprised you the most and which one you would actually start. If you enjoy practical lessons on business, money psychology, and long-term wealth building, subscribe to the channel, because every week we break down real strategies used by ordinary people to build extraordinary financial freedom. And remember, the goal isn't to build a business that impresses strangers. The goal is to build a life that gives you freedom. I'll see you in the next video.